Hello and good morning to all. As I said in the previous video, in this one I will explain briefly how to insert the seater safety button in a Grafcet program. Also, I will explain you how to connect the PLC physically with our program. For this we will use the same program of the previous video. To add the seater system, we will have to create a new variable. I have already done it previously. It is called seater and it is of Boolean type. In its address we have put a percentage in front of I, and after an asterisk. In this way we indicate to the program that we will then relate it to a physical input. In addition to the variables that we have created ourselves, the system has different variables in its interior, already created. When these are activated, they have the capacity to generate different actions. To activate these variables, on top of Untitled Projects, right-click and select Properties. We can find different options. In our case, we will select SFC. To see better and be able to read the details of each variable, expand the tab. In this column you can see all the variables that the program has already created. In our case we will use the variable SFC in it. When this variable is activated, all the stages and the corresponding actions will be reset. In the column of use we will click on the variables that we want to use. To name the variable we have to go to the PO program. In the variables section, but inside var_input we will have to add the variable SFC in it. This will be of Boolean type. To relate the variable seater that we have created and the own variable of the program, we will go to the main program. We will copy the following code. On one side we have the code to call the PO program. On the other hand we have the relation between the mushroom and the variable of the program. If the mushroom variable is set, then the SFI init variable will be set. If not, the mushroom variable is deactivated, then the SFC init variable will also be deactivated. In our case we have used a normally open, NO, mushroom button. In the industry normally closed, NC, buttons are used, so we would have to change the conditions of true and false. With this we have the program done. Now what we have to do is to connect the program to the physical PLC. The first step we have to do is to connect our computer to the PLC via the Ethernet cable. Going back to the program, where it says Local, select Choose Target System. Then click on Search Ethernet. Then Broadcast Search. Uncheck Wi-Fi. And the address of the PLC will appear. Select it. Click on Add Route. The only thing we will do in this tab is to add a password. Always use the same password, 1. If everything has been done correctly, this symbol will appear in the connected column. Close the page. The last step would be to relate the variables with the outputs and inputs of the physical PLC. To do this, we select the connected PLC. If we click on Untitled Instance, we can see the input and output variables that we have created. To connect them to the physical card, right-click on Device. You can see that the scan option is not available. To be able to configure it, what we have to do is to go to the top left and click on the blue button. You are now in configuration mode. Now right-click on the device and select Scan. This scanner recognizes the elements that are connected to your computer. The PLC and all the models connected to it will appear. Inside we will be able to see all the physical inputs and outputs that the PLC has. Now we will have to link our variables with the physical inputs and outputs. Right-click on the variable and select Change Link. Now we will select the physical input. As in my case I have the wired button on the 5th input, I will select that one. You will have to take into account when relating the variables, where you have connected the elements in the PLC. You can see how a symbol has appeared. This indicates that it is already connected. We will do the same with the button of the mushroom. We will connect it to the 6th input. With the lights we will do the same, these will be outputs instead of inputs. With this we would have everything done. The only thing left to do is to start it up. To do this, click on Activate Configuration in the top left corner of the screen. The program will turn from blue to green. Click on Restart Twincat System and the whole program will be sent to the PLC. Then click on Login, green arrow. Now we don't need to force the variables, like in the previous video. In this case the mushroom and run buttons are connected so I can activate them manually. When I press the run button the program will start running. If I press the mushroom button at any time, the program will return to the start, waiting for the run button. All stages and their actions will be deactivated. As I said, we have learned how to insert the mushroom into a Grafcet program. On the other hand, we have learned how to relate physical inputs and outputs of the PLC with the variables of the program. I hope you have understood everything, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks and see you next time.